Hello everyone. Welcome back to our channel, US Immigration News. We hope you're doing great. Well, in today's video, we will be talking about states that ramped up efforts to enact stricter immigration laws. In recent months, states across the country have significantly intensified their efforts to implement stricter immigration laws, according to a new report. This development marks a notable shift in the landscape of immigration policy, as states take increasingly assertive steps to regulate and control immigration within their borders. If interested in this, so to get all the information, pay attention and watch the video through to the end. Please hit like and subscribe, and don't forget to push the notification bell for an upcoming video. So without any further delay, let's jump into the video. Efforts by state lawmakers across the US to pass stricter immigration laws have increased significantly over the past 4 years under the Biden administration, according to a report released by a national civil rights group on Thursday. The League of United Latin American Citizens, the largest Latino civil rights organization in the US, found that state lawmakers have proposed 233 laws that the group considers to be anti-immigrant, up from 132 in 2023, 64 in 2022, 81 in 2022, 81 in 2021, and 51 in 2020. Those proposals include measures to criminalize unauthorized entry into the US. At the state level, curb so-called sanctuary policies that limit local law enforcement cooperation with federal immigration authorities and address concerns about non-citizen voting attempts, which studies show are rare. Other measures have sought to crack down on the hiring of undocumented workers. The report, first shared with CBS News, underscores how Republican state officials across the country have increasingly sought to challenge the federal government's long-standing authority to set immigration and border policy. The vast majority, or 97%, of these immigration measures proposed in state legislatures since 2020 have been sponsored by Republican lawmakers, according to LULAC's researchers. Texas has led the way with 91 proposals to enact stricter immigration laws in the past 4 years, the report shows. Most of these proposals have not been passed and enacted, the report found, but several states with Republican-led legislatures have succeeded in getting them across the finish line. State immigration laws. Late last year, the Texas legislature passed an unprecedented law known as SB 4 that empowered state officials to arrest, jail, and prosecute migrants suspected of crossing into the U.S. unlawfully. It also allowed state judges to order suspected violators to return to Mexico instead of prosecution. At the request of the Biden administration, a federal judge ruled against the law, which remains blocked while Texas' appeal is reviewed. Following Texas' footsteps, state governments in Iowa, Louisiana, Kansas, and Oklahoma enacted immigration laws that were nearly identical to SB 4. The measures have similarly faced legal challenges by the Justice Department. In November, Arizona voters will decide whether to make it a state crime for migrants to cross from Mexico outside of a legal entry point, a ballot measure created by state Republican lawmakers. Last year, Florida Ron DeSantis, a Republican, signed one of the toughest state immigration laws in modern history. The law increased penalties for employers who hire unauthorized workers, invalidated driver's licenses issued by other states to undocumented immigrants, directed state hospitals to collect immigration information on patients, and created new crimes for transporting people without a legal immigration status into Florida. Republican state leaders have said they've sought to play a larger role in shaping immigration policymaking due to the record levels of illegal crossings reported along the U.S. southern border in recent years. They have blamed President Biden's policies for that record influx, denouncing them as too lax and lenient. Biden's deliberate inaction has left Texas to fend for itself. Texas Gov. Greg Abbott, a Republican, said when he signed SB 4. LULAC, on the other hand, said the state measures are divisive and counterproductive. Some of them, the group argues, could also lead to racial bias against Latinos, since many undocumented immigrants hail from Latin America. You see activist governors and attorneys general that are trying to address these issues on their own, instead of, quite frankly, working in a bipartisan way through Congress to pass comprehensive immigration reform, for example, to provide a clear pathway for citizenship. To more clearly define what the asylee process is, said Juan Proano, LULAC's CEO. LULAC has been embroiled in a legal fight with Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, whose office recently targeted the homes of several of the group's members with search warrants, confiscating their phones and laptops. Paxton's office has said it is looking into allegations of voter fraud. Those targeted have denied any wrongdoing, and LULAC has asked the Justice Department to investigate Texas for potential civil rights violations. Kathleen Joseph Bush, an analyst at the Nonpartisan Migration Policy Institute, said the lawsuits filed by states against federal immigration policies are another way they have reshaped immigration policy in recent years. Texas and other Republican-led have challenged virtually every major action by Mr. Biden on immigration, recently convincing a court to pause a program that would grant legal status to some undocumented immigrants married to U.S. citizens. States are succeeding, though litigation in halting or stalling nationwide immigration policy affecting hundreds of thousands of people, Joseph Bush said. In the absence of congressional reforms to the immigration system over the past 3 decades, the federal government and states have each taken more unilateral actions on the issue, she noted. The outdated nature of the immigration system, writ large being from the 80s and 90s, means that it's not up to the challenges of the 21st century, Joseph Bush said. And the difficulties that both the states and the federal government have are exacerbated by this issue of not having an updated system. As states continue to ramp up their immigration enforcement measures, the impact on communities, economies, and the legal landscape remains to be fully seen. The findings have underscored the growing complexity of immigration policy in the United States and highlight the urgent need for dialogue and reform at both state and federal levels. That is all for today in this video. What are your thoughts on this? Please let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the entire video. Hopefully the information is useful to you. See you later in the next video. Till then, take care.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Channel US Immigration News. We hope you're doing great. Well, in today's video, we'll be talking about states that ramped up efforts to enact stricter immigration laws. Efforts by state lawmakers across the US to implement stricter immigration laws have surged significantly over the past 4 years, according to a recent report by the League of United Latin American Citizens, the largest Latino civil rights organization in the country. The video reveals that 233 anti-immigrant laws have been proposed in state legislatures, a notable increase from 132 in 2023, 64 in 2022, 81 in 2021, and 51 in 2020. These proposed laws include measures to criminalize unauthorized entry into the US at the state level, restrict sanctuary policies that limit local cooperation with federal immigration authorities, and address rare concerns about non-citizen voting. Some proposals also target the hiring of undocumented workers. The report highlights a trend where Republican state officials are increasingly challenging the federal government's traditional authority over immigration and border policy. The majority of these measures, approximately 97%, have been introduced by Republican lawmakers. Texas has been a significant player with 91 proposals in the past 4 years. Although many of these proposals have not been enacted, some states with Republican-led legislatures have successfully passed restrictive laws. Notably, Texas passed SB 4, a law allowing state officials to arrest and prosecute migrants suspected of unlawful entry. This law faced legal challenges and remains blocked, while Texas' appeal is under review. Following Texas, states like Iowa, Louisiana, Kansas, and Oklahoma have enacted similar laws, which have also encountered legal challenges. Additionally, upcoming ballots in Arizona and recent legislation in Florida reflect a trend of tightening state immigration policies. Republican leaders argue that their actions are necessary due to high illegal crossing rates at the southern border, attributing the situation to perceived leniency in President Biden's policies. Conversely, LULAC criticizes these states' measures as divisive and potentially discriminatory, suggesting they could exacerbate racial biases against Latinos. The video underscores the growing complexity of US immigration policy and the need for comprehensive reform. It highlights how state actions, combined with legal challenges to federal policies, have reshaped the immigration landscape, emphasizing the urgent need for a modernized and unified approach to immigration.